Okay guys, so we're here today, got our Rainman portable water maker that came with the boat. It's a 140 liter per hour that makes fresh water out of salt water. And I bought a conversion kit to permanently install the new control panel and hatch. And we've got our freshwater flush and plumbing kit. And this video is going to be about how to take a portable water maker, the Rainman, and install it in your boat. So one of the hardest things about taking your portable water maker and permanently installing it is finding a location for everything. We have a Lagoon 42 Catamaran, and I think I found a good location for the control panel, which is going to be right here above the freezer. And we've ordered this extra waterproof hatch that I'm going to mount in there, and that control box will fit in behind. And then come on down below and I'll show you where we're going to put the rest of the components. This is down in the port hall underneath the aft bunk. We've got this nice cubby hole right here, and I just have to modify my heating lines there, and I'm gonna have to take the RO membranes out of the case, mount them on the bulkhead, drop the pressure supply unit in there, and then make all the necessary attachments and add the freshwater flush kit and space to mount all of that in here. So again, the biggest thing to consider about installing your water maker is where you're going to put it, and I'll get started. Okay, so it's quite a while later, and we have the hatch mounted and the control panel all in place. I'm missing the pressure fittings from Rainman. It's coming next week, but I'll get to that next week. But for now, this part is done, and I'll show you inside where I mounted everything downstairs. So you can see I took the membranes out of the blue case and I've mounted them on this bulkhead here. This pressure gauge and assembly has to come out once I get the fittings from Rainman, and it attaches to the end of the hose, so I'll do that later. And I have my pressure supply unit mounted here and strapped in place. I may have to do some modifications still, but for now that's good. And I've got some plumbing lines to run still. And over here is my freshwater flush. So coming in from my house water out to the water maker so that we can freshwater flush the tank. And this is the freshwater flush control timer. Alright, so when I get the rest of it all plumbed in and wired up, I'll fire it up and give you a demonstration. Okay, I've finished up the install here on the Rainman water maker, and I'll just go over some of the components briefly and then we'll give it a test run. So here's the hatch for the main control panel, and we have flush mounted it in here. Got our gauges and pressure valves, diverter valve to go from testing to tank, and right now it's just flashing because it's on the freshwater flush timer. So over here in the engine room is where I had to run my seawater intake. You'll see I teed in here to my freshwater flush and ran that across my engine room to my intake, and then the three-way valve for seawater intake and my brine pickling agent there. So just turning this valve, I can turn it that way to pickle the water maker. So you can see now I have it all mounted in here. I've got the membranes mounted on the back wall, taking it out of the blue case, and I have my pressure supply unit strapped down, and there's 6 plumbing lines that come down from the from the control panel that run down through this access behind the steering cables and down under the bed and up here. And there's also 2 electrical lines that come from there as well. Not overly complicated to install, but it does take time. I think I've put about 25 or maybe 30 hours into the install. And full disclosure, this is the 3rd Watermaker we've had. The other 2, the first one we had was Sea Recovery. I wouldn't recommend it. We had lots of issues with that one. Second one was Cruise RO, which worked very well on our last boat. And to be honest, that's probably what I would have put in this boat, other than the fact that this boat came with the Rainman. But so far I'm really happy with the way the Rainman works. It operates really easily, and time will tell how well it stands up. So let's fire it up, and then you can hear how it runs. So I've just turned on the Watermaker, and I'll let it run for a minute or 2, and then I'll till the air bubbles are gone, and then I'll start increasing the pressure to get the high pressure running through the membranes. Okay, she's up and running. I've got the pressure running at about 550 psi, and you can see we're making about 35 gallons, or roughly 130 liters per hour. And the green light is on, meaning the water quality is good. And so I'm going to switch that over to the tank. And now we're filling our tanks. And come on down below, you can hear it running. Once we put the mattress and everything on top, it'll be much quieter. One other thing to show you is in here I've got, this is my test water. I need a fitting to connect this to, but this will be my test water. And I teed into the sink drain for the brine discharge. You can see